Kids, I love that intro. It's Mark Miller here. Mark Miller with Rory. Rory's on the Skype with us. Rory, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, my friend.
Glad to have you with us as usual. Today we got, I think, a pretty good show for you, I think. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's pretty good or not. I guess that depends on, you. But I'm going to...
No pressure.
I'm going to work on refining the state machine for rolling the dice, because right now we've basically gone from test, can we roll the dice, get the numbers, that sort of thing, and I want to move that. I want to get that to a point where I'm like, actually, we're rolling the dice, we're waiting to see what the results are. If there's a disadvantaged die, we take it away, we animate it away. We clean up automatically if nobody does anything, but we also allow the dungeon master to clean up with a press of a button. And so I think without too much more delay on that, let's kind of at least get to here and we can show some code. I want to put the releases out here for our Mr. Announcer Bot app that we're working on here. Which is also including the Dungeon Master code in it. There it is right there. There's a link to that in the chat room. And here we are today, episode 116. And we've given away over 100 copies of CodeRushed related to this show. So,
oh, yes.
So stay tuned for that. You can, if you're here at the right moment when I say go, essentially, you... we'll get an opportunity to say, hey, can I have a copy for free? At which point we will say, of course, and just get you your download instructions. So it's a great place to get a copy of CodeRushed if you don't want to actually give any money to Dev Express. I'm not exactly sure how this is working out in anybody's favor.
An interesting statement, but hey.
I don't know, maybe you're mad. Maybe you don't like companies that start with D or have the word X in them. I don't know. But whatever your reason is, we support you, and we will give you a copy for free if you're here in the chat room at the right moment.
Good evening, Surly Dev. I see you there in the chat room.
Hey, Surly Dev is with us. Thank you so much for joining us. So good news. Yeah, free things for the win. I just realized for the win is the reverse of WTF. I did not know that. I was dyslexic, and at first I thought, how dare you, sir? You forget yourself, Surly Dev. Do not. And then I was like, oh, yeah, for the win. It's okay. But I almost took my glove off and, slapped his face virtually across the internet.
That was close. So
let me tell you something, kids. We had a memory leak. Were you here for the memory leak, Roy, or no?
I have experienced memory leaks wherein there was sort of a slow build, and I think it was the more dice you threw, certainly in the first instance, the quicker it would accumulate. And then we took the number of dice back down to sort of more realistic terms, because it was more of a, well, can we throw 60 dice at the same time? Not that we would necessarily need to do that, but obviously it got us into that problem quicker and quicker. And when we took it back down, it was still there. There was definitely a sort of a loss of memory or a loss of processing, but of course it wasn't accumulating as quickly then, so it was less of a priority initially.
So while you were talking, I'm looking at my lips. They were incredibly red, and I'm like, what is going on with these? And I just changed to a green screen. I think that's my wife in the background there doing the cat call whistle on me. By the way, I've never been catcalled so many times in my life. I mean, she's my wife walking down the street and she's catcalling me. She will push me away from her so that it looks like I'm not with her. And she'll be like, ooh, look at that. Look at those shorts. Those are short shorts there, mister. And I'm wearing pants. I don't know what she's doing. Just trying to, make a public scene. I don't know. Rory Becker subscribed with Twitch Prime. That's awesome. Codebase Alpha says hello. Stu's with us from Codebase Alpha. By the way, check it out. I did a kind of a helping Stu get up to speed with CodeRushed on his channel. I think it was yesterday. Is that right? Today's Tuesday. Is that right? Yeah, I think it's Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah. So I did that. And so there you go. By the way, certainly Dev says free CodeRushed. What? And then he's like, win the 4 is what I think he says. WTF spells win the 4. Is there a video available? I think there is. Codebase Alpha. Why don't you pop that in here? And what can I do here? How do I make Codebase Alpha a moderator? I thought I could do it right here from, oh, that didn't work at all. That's not what I wanted to do. I thought I could do it right here. It looks like I can't do it easily. I'm not enough of an expert on Twitch chat room, so I thought there was a way to do it. Anyway, let's, now that I've got my color adjusted a little bit here, we fixed the memory leak. I fixed that this morning. I was like, basically, you know, the whole weekend I was like, I don't care about the memory leak. I'm going to keep going because I want to, you know, create stuff. And I went back and checked it, and the memory leak was horrific. It was worse than before. And I was like, I had a moment of regret where I should have gone after the memory leak first. But you know, as things were, I don't think I was ready to really explore the what I was seeing inside of Chrome. At any rate, I went into Chrome, I went into the memory leak tools, and I just started looking for clues, anything that smelled like something I could, you know, I recognized, right? And I got a couple of them. And ultimately, I realized, I had actually caused some of the problems as well. I needed to kind of keep track of things, so I was adding my own things. I added a parent die property here to body. And this is the die object property. That's the one that originally the source came with. And at any rate, what I ended up doing is saying, let's clean up my stuff. Plus, I'm calling Dice Manager will remove. This was code that was not there before. So there was, I think, some memory problems in what we originally got. Plus, I compounded them, and they really showed up when I was rolling a lot of dice. I went in, I carefully looked at everything, and I said, look, let's just take everything that's not a primitive type and set it to null out here in the clear so that we're very explicit about what we're doing with our references. And I think what we had is we had some circular references. I think we had, like, you know, a list that or there were objects that had references to children, the children referenced the parents, and none of that got cleared up.
Definitely going to cause you some issues, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. And so at any rate, I went through and checked it, and it looks like before, where the memory leak was obvious, now it looks like it's holding pretty tightly to the memory it's been allocating, which I really like, because there's a ton of stuff happening here, right? There's dice being rolled, there's special effects that are going on, all of that. Oh, I talked about this last week. Over the weekend, my kids are homeschooled, a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old, and I said, all right, kids, it's special effects class. In special effects class, let's see, should I show you over the stream? Maybe I'll show you over the stream while I talk about it here. Bring up the die roller test. So this is a special scene that does the die roller on it. And you're going to see this effect when they first comes out. It's loading, so it'll take a second, I think, before these load. But once the die load and they come out, you'll see the effect. We talked about creating a special effect where a hand reaches up out of the ooze, grabs the die, and pulls it down. Okay, clock has started. Oh, die are not rolling. I wonder if we've got a bug in here that is recently introduced. Let me try magically rolling the die with the button on the thing. That's not working. Let's go to our die roller page and see what's up. It was like, I swear it was all working moments ago, and then I was like, all right, and then I didn't work on it, and then said, all right, let's do it. Well, this is working. Why isn't the other one working? Oh, wait, is it still loading? I think it's the die roller's still loading. I just saw the scroll bar on the side. It looks like it's still rolling. So that is one of my kids' hands.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I like that.
Yeah. And so we created.
Mark.
What you got? Codebase Alpha says Mark. Rory Becker's quiet.
Oh dear.
It's my fault.
I'm trying not to be.
No, he sounds good here. This is like the mystery of OBS and local stuff. I bet if I do that, it's my audio. This is the crazy thing.
Awesome.
And now, Roy, talk and see how that is right there.
I am a big fan of that effect on the screen. The hand and was that soap suds or?
It's clay.
Clay.
It's clay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So clay. So now Rory's screaming in my ears, but now at least you get to hear it. I'll have to figure out a volume adjust for that. I don't think I have anything on. Wait a minute. Do I have something here? Can this do it? Talk to me, Rory.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Am I still?
I don't think this is doing
reasonable audio.
Yeah, I haven't changed anything. Everybody else should be okay with you.
So everyone else can hear, and you're going to go steadily deafer.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I'm going to have to spend some time to figure this out. All right, so that's a cool effect, right, for getting rid of the dice. And what's interesting though is it's not working on the live stream. The live stream, it should be kicking in by now. And I think, is it, I just want to double check. I don't understand that. That's a little bit concerning to me because it was working before. If I do a, yeah, the rolls are not working. Oh, wait. Oh, because we changed to awesome. Hold on. Let's go back to the die roller test again. Maybe we changed away from that scene, and that's why it didn't load. Let me do one other thing. Let me refresh the cache for that, though. Properties, refresh cache of current page. I want to make sure we don't have a resource problem because we saw in the past that, there we go. Okay, we're good. Here's the stream. So coming over the stream, you're going to see that. Now, we're not quite loaded yet. There's still a scroll bar to the right. Once that scroll bar goes away, that means the die are totally loaded and we'll be able to do Signal R to control it. And those sounds are crazy loud in my ear. I'll definitely have to fix that right there.
Okay,
how are those sounds
dice
over there, by the way, Codebase Alpha? All right, so let's now do a wild magic throw. Wild magic throw is something that a wizard can throw, a sorcerer, I think, something like that. A sorcerer can throw it if they participate in wild magic and some crazy stuff happens based on the roll. So that's a wild magic throw right there. It's got kind of a sense of magic to it. I've got it. Notice here, I've got this button right here. If I hover over it, the progress bar stops. But if I don't, it's going to clear at the end of this. This was inspired by some UI on, I think, Google Maps, where it says add stop, gives you a button. Bop, 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 bop. Ooh, the world wake, they're loud and gross. Alpha says they're, a bit loud. How am I going to fix this? Let me see if I can just figure this out with OBS right here. Because it's like OBS is doing my desktop sounds. Oh, I didn't know I can pull the mixer out. That's cool. Here's the mixer. I just pulled it out. This might be a new feature over here. So there's my desktop audio. The problem is you are mixing with everything else. Let me go to my mixer here. Open volume mixer. Yeah, I just don't see how we're going to make this thing work. System sounds. Skype is there. You're full on at Skype.
Okay.
I can take what's my system sounds here, I guess. Yeah, I'm super confused about this. I want to do a test without people, actually expecting something to happen, like watching the show, where I can do this, I think, because I'm not seeing
It is a rather complex process, isn't it? We've got Skype, we've got OBS, we've got incoming, we've got desktop audio, we've got my audio coming in as some component of that, and we've got independent mixers for different tracks for your mic there. I think I can see your webcam, other things like that, and then independent application volumes within all of that.
Yeah, I just took OBS and cranked that up is what I did, which is kind of interesting. And I've got Skype. Let's crank up Skype loudly too, right there. Well, let's see. Talk to me again, Rory.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so that's a good volume for me right there. And you know what? It's this. This is the problem, guys.
That's invisible virtually.
Yeah,
that?
I dropped it down last time because we had some other issues, I think. Go ahead and talk to me again, Rory.
Okay, is this any better? Can everybody still hear me? And at the same time, Mark is not being deafened.
That is, hold on, I think blasting people. Let's drop it down here. That made it more loud. Okay, sorry. Let's try it again.
One more test. One more test, everybody. Is this reasonable levels of audio? Can everybody hear? So straight back to commenting that the previous one made me loud. That's in line with what you expected. Is it now better? Yes, we have some good levels apparently.
All right, so let's
just
not
save everything.
This.
Don't touch any audio ever again.
I know. That's the thing that's crazy is the audio, my audio, my personal audio changes what you hear. So it's like I'm not sure I'm into that so much. So I basically got speakers here. Let's do this. Let's take a screenshot of this at least, and we'll say this looks good.
That's not a bad theory, at least. Yeah,
it's not bad. Okay, so we're gonna take a screenshot of this, and
Codebase Alpha says then the problem is next stream it will change. I'm inclined to agree, and I think it's probably that maybe the desktop machine itself is rolling dice for our audio before we start.
We'll need to figure out that. But I figure if I can get these two nailed, if I can get your voice nailed, as well as I guess how it sounds for me in my ears. If I do those two, then what we can get is from there we can individually adjust the volumes on the game playing pieces and make those. Let's see how things sound now if we do like another roll here. Here's a Paladin Smite roll right here. Well, that didn't have any. Squishes are loud, I bet.
Little, maybe.
A little bit loud. Can I come in here to properties on, so this is my property for the 3D dice overlay. There's no volume control here. So that's not going to work. I wonder if I've got a filter I can add to it. Is there any kind of, there's an effect filter. Do I get a volume filter on it? No, I don't see it. I don't see it. Okay. So looks like I don't have in. So I'm going to have to tweak those dice rolls. So tweet about the wait list. Wait, hold on. What Surly Dev? Were you at DDDSW on Saturday? Didn't see.
There's a localized conference down in Bristol in the UK, and yeah, it's sort of a once yearly deal. Kind of fun. And I was just pointing out, no, I did not make it down there. I completely forgot it was even on until the Friday, so I was far too late to be partaking, unfortunately. Okay. Never mind.
I wonder, is there something else I can do? Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I can do for volume without blasting my ears with you. The other thing that's going on here with this, let me move these over to the left a bit, is when we change pages like this, and then I'm going to go switch back over to the die roller test as well. Well, actually, let's do this. It's going to be more easy to illustrate this on our die roller window. So I'm going to bring this up instead. And now when we roll, if we roll like a Paladin Smite right here, this is going to come in on with Kayla's colors here. Or I'm sorry, that's, yeah, Kayla's selected here, so character colors are showing up here. Let me unmute the site here so you can hear the sounds while we do this. So here's the Paladin Smite right there. So we've got the green die coming in, and like that, sneak attack, I think is, it's a light green, not a dark green there, but it's reflecting her colors. And so if we switch over to Karen and we do the die roll now, it's blue and reflecting her colors as well. And we added one other really cool thing here, which is so I was talking with the Dungeon Master over the weekend, and he was like, well, you know, because I was showing him the wild magic roll, right? So like,
okay, yeah.
Which is really something that my character's going to do. It's those right there. I'm going to take this off screen so that you can kind of see it there full. What's happening is, yeah. Sparkles for the wild magic. And, you know, I was asking about other special roles for the other characters. And he said, yeah, you've got a Paladin Smite. And I don't exactly like the Paladin Smite that you're seeing here. But this effect around the die, I think I'm going to have something more shooting out. And I think it's going to be reflective of where the die hits. I'm even thinking about something simple like a ripple through water that kind of comes out.
Okay.
You know what I mean, Rory? Like a little circular thing, and every time it hits, I want to start a ripple and just let it go.
Like an aura. S&B says an aura style kind of effect.
Yeah. So I need a holy aura for that. Right. That's exactly what I'm trying to get to. I'm looking for something along those lines. For our druid, she has the ability to do a wild animal attack. Wild animal form, to take that form. And when that happens, that roll looks like, hold on a second, let me switch to this view, clear out the scroll there. And the wild animal attack looks like this. So you've got that, when the dice first hits the ground, it plays that sound, and we've got the paw prints.
I love the tracks, that's good.
Yeah, and the paw prints follow the dice. So if the dice gets thrown hard enough and bounces, there, you can see that.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, pretty cool. It's just one single paw print, and the calculation is I'm using basically high school math to position all of that. Is what I'm doing.
Awesome!
CodeRushed Alpha says, moving downstairs will be S&B for the rest of the stream. Okay, because I was just, for a second, I was like, wait, I thought S&B was CodeRushed Alpha. So that's what we've got there. The clock, I think we made changes to the clock since you were last with us, Rory. In fact, I think I maybe even made changes to the clock since we were last in the show.
I think the clock for me was when I was last here was not physically on screen. We had all the plans in place. We had a bit of a plan to transmit information, but it never quite got onto screen. Excuse me.
Hugo's,
And that looks pretty nice.
Yeah, it does. Hugo says, high school math? This is getting serious. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
No more elementary school math on this show, kids. We have moved up to high school math. Ninth grade, essentially, but we're going to get the 10th grade soon.
And obviously higher levels of art, too, because we've moved on from finger painting and things like that, and we now have full-on video capture of hands coming out of clay.
Right, that's true. We created our own custom effect for that hand grab. That is, we own that entirely.
Didn't you say at some point you're going to be doing a map of some description? So we've got geography covered as well.
Yeah, we're going to have a map. The map is going. Let me show you this actually for the map. Hold on a second, because this is also cool stuff that's in development here. So I'm working on the UI. I'm roughing out the UI for how the participants are going to be able to play the game, how they're going to be able to specify where they are, how they move, all kinds of things. And so, like, for example, that we might be here, and so combat order will be here, and then if it's not my turn yet, or if it is my turn, either way, but even if it's not my turn, I can start queuing up actions for what I want to do. So I can grab my character and move it, for example. Dungeons & Dragons has got a limit on how much you can move per turn. But we can take that rule and incorporate it into the UI. So if I can only move 30 feet, I might move from here to here to Derby Bro and say, okay, I'm going to attack. And then I might say, all right, after that, I want to move back. But if this is 20 feet, I can only move back 10. And so we can implement the rules in each of the pieces. So when I queue up my actions, my turns, I can say, well, I want to move a little bit. I want to attack. I want to move over here, do a second attack, and then I want to move back to safety. Right, for example. And so I queue all those up. When it's my turn, I'll execute them, and the Dungeon Master will approve each one before I do it. This is crazy. I've never built anything like this before.
So are we going to have a kind of a controlled application for the players as well?
Yes.
Where they can suggest things they're going to do. Obviously, as you say, that'll just queue them up. We won't actually do them until the Dungeon Master approves them.
Right.
But yeah, interesting.
So that's what we're going to do. Now, in talking to the Dungeon Master, so by the way, so when I select, here's my actions. If I select it, I haven't executed yet. If I select the move 10 feet, it's going to show me with like some indicator here. Let's change the color of this so it looks a little more like it's an indicator for movement, like it's green or something. I don't know. Just make it something slightly different. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to insult you, Roy. I know you're not entirely.
Actually, strangely, that's fairly easy to distinguish.
Okay, good.
Despite theories of before.
Okay, good. All right, good. So basically what happens is when I select it, it shows the move, but when I don't select it, it doesn't show that piece.
Sure.
So I can select. So this is basically, I'm queuing up actions through time. I can select each one. I can execute them out of order if I want to, if it's not a move. Right? If it's, I can only execute a move in order, I think. So basically I'm working through this. Then things get crazy. We start talking about areas of effect for spells, right? And everything in yellow here is essentially represents an area of effect for a spell. Like I can build a wall as an example.
Yes.
Right? Also, I can build a wall at any orientation and at any angle. And that wall can curve and like wrap around me. For example, I can build a circle out of a wall that protects me.
Absolutely.
And that wall can have, you're like, absolutely, like, of course, young man.
Oh, it's a great plan. I mean, I'm thinking especially if you build a wall out of several segments, but you take time to do it, right? And you have individual, so you've got 3 walls down there at the bottom, the sort of blue sort of style.
Yeah.
If you were to do that and you were to sort of stagger them by 5-second increments or whatever it might be, then the length of the spell would actually then have parts of your wall sort of despelling at different rates as well. You know, the walls would come down at different moments, potentially leaving a chink in the armor, so to speak.
No. These are all at once. So instantly I can create a wall that wraps around me. Now, the cool thing is that so this morning, you know how we talk about this thing where I'm coding in my sleep? This morning, I'm thinking of some killer UI for this that looks essentially like something like this a little bit. These arrows might change to something else, but they're big fat things here, and here. And I can grab the mouse. So if I grab this arrow and pull down, it'll start dragging the corner right there for me. If I pull this, it'll allow me to lengthen the wall or shorten it. If I pull this, it'll give me a corner there. Like already with doing nothing, I now can create square walls. But then I was thinking, oh, geez, check this out. This is not hard to do. Let's say I have right here, let's change this fill color as well. Let's say I have another control there. And let's say I drag that control to here. And then this is replaced with is another move piece like this, right? And then I drag that move piece if anywhere along in here. What happens is it's going to give me a circle. Let me draw that. It's going to rotate the circle around the center point that I just created.
Okay.
Give me a second to build this for you to show you what this is going to do. About right there. So let's center both of those, cut, and format paint this. And it's going to give me, it's going around that point right there, the center point. So it's basically going to give me, almost done. Hold on. There. Cut that, and here. Cut that. And it's basically going to give me something like this, UI-wise, right? Where I can I can go for a while and then start dragging in a circle and I'm going to have it do snap to like 90 degrees and maybe 45 degrees pieces as well, right? So I can come in there and I can create like an angle like this and then start doing, so I can get something like that is basically what's happening here.
Sure.
And that's kind of what we can do. So, so that's kind
of
what.
There are no limits.
Yeah, I'm basically with just drag and drop. I think we can get very, very cool effects, right? Including full circles easily with just a few drags. So
yeah,
cool. Other areas of effect: cone, cube, sphere, and cylinder. But from a top-down perspective, they're all essentially the same. And I essentially agreed with the Dungeon Master that we're going to effectively play in 2D space. We're not going to, there's not going to be like, Ava's not going to be 20 feet above Merkin or something like that, or above the enemy. We're not going to do that for this
the
UI.
closest you'd get to that is, somebody decides to go up the stairs, but then they enter a separate room, which is upstairs, which, although hypothetically is one on top of the other, you could play them beside each other.
Yeah, but we're thinking spell effect areas would be very nice additions to straight butter. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. So when I start building the map, which I think is going to happen sometime in the next month or two, the map UIs and the map and the combat UI they're tightly related. I'll do combat first. With crude map functionality, like the ability to display a picture, maybe, and maybe some movement and positioning, and then we'll focus heavily on combat, and hopefully I'll be able to figure out how to get all these apps to talk to each other because they're going to be on separate machines, and I've never done this before. I don't know how to do this. It's like I think I need to start researching how to build a chat app, a private chat app, because I think I need some kind of hosting, and I don't know how to do this at all. So, SNP says above certain level PCs start flying. I'm not sure what that is related to. Surly has Bitcoins, says WorldWake. Can it be a tall, impregnable, and beautiful wall? Hugo. That's awesome. That's awesome. Also, Hugo can't help with the high school math. He barely passed paper mache. Making paper mache things in high school. I feel like we should be doing something like that soon. 2D versus 3D Battlefield. Yeah, SNB. So I was thinking, I think what SNB is saying is that I think when you get into 3D, it starts to tax the machine is what I think he's saying. And that's an idea I was thinking about taking this from 2D to 3D is that we normally work in a 2D world, but you can tilt sideways to see altitude if I wanted to support 3D later. But it's kind of like, well, if I'm not supporting 3D from the question is if I'm going to be able to do that later, the whole thing should be built with a 3D engine to begin with. But I keep it in 2D until I'm ready to switch. You know what I mean? And so I'm weighing that in my head. Is that really what I want to do? Hold on, I got to do something that's bugging me. Sorry about this, guys. This is OCD here. I just need to come in here, take that, trim that, and arrange, align both of these to top and then merge them together. That's kind of what I'm looking at. It doesn't look as great as I wanted. Hold on, let's not do the merge. And let's do this until it gets to about there. There we go. Now let's merge these together. So that's kind of the end result product. That's what I'm kind of hoping to be able to create with a few clicks and drags.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Okay.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
SMB says for flying or PC monsters, you can just tag them with the flying label and handle attacks against the flying opponent somehow. Yeah, I think that we can do a little bit there, but I guess what I'm thinking in terms of area of effect, like if I cast a spell, the question I asked the Dungeon Master, when I cast a spell and it's got a cube area effect or a cylinder, is that for all intents and purposes, at least from the standpoint of mapping and who's going to impact, is the cylinder is the cylinder essentially on the ground? The surface of the ground. Now, I know the player could say otherwise in special cases, but basically if it's a sphere area of effect and let's say you're small and standing near the edge, one could make the argument if you were here that you weren't actually in that sphere. Because from a side view, it comes above you. Look, the side view looks something like this, right? I'm technically inside the sphere. If this is the side view right here, but I'm not in it. Right? And so you could make that argument, but I think from a top-down perspective, we go back to that. If you're in it, you're in it. From the gameplay, we're gonna forego realism a little bit and favor
a little bit of simplicity in this case.
Right.
Will make things a lot quicker to achieve.
Yeah.
And then you'll have to find the edge cases maybe and decide, well, okay, do we want to spend the extra time to make this edge case work in a more realistic fashion, or are we happy just to leave it as it is? So,
and
wait until those scenarios come up.
Sometimes the Dungeon Master can solve problems like this, right? The Dungeon Master could be able to solve problems. Speaking of which, talked to the Dungeon Master about undo, and I was like really nervous about undo. I've implemented undo twice in my life before. By the way, Surly Dev is reminding me of a feature I need to make, which I wave like this, and he just blows up. I'm going to make that feature.
You just swap the drones.
That's right. We talked about undo, and I'm worried about undo because undo is an awesome place to get edge case bugs if you don't do it right. That sound I've got to drop as well. That sounds way too loud.
That is quite loud.
And I think this is if I go into desktop audio and drop it though. Yeah, let's do this. I think we're going to have to dock it. Sorry, guys. We're going to dock that. And just because it's so loud. And then I'm going to do some sound adjustments on that. And Rory, you already sent me a note on adjusting that.
Yeah.
So with that said, basically, we talked about the fun stuff that we did when Rory wasn't here. You can tell Rory was like, hey, let's write some code. Because he doesn't want me to do this thing where when he has to leave, I say, now let's do the fun stuff to make him want to stay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the fun stuff, what we want to do. Here we go, let's look at it. The first thing we need to do is we need to stop the automatic cleanup. So right now the dice are automatically cleaned up, right? If I roll an attack roll, it's out, and within seconds, they go away. That we're going to move. We're going to change that.
Yep.
So let's work on that first. That's going to be in our dice roller.
So you're going to have an independent cleanup button.
Yeah, or it's going to clean up on its own, but after a certain amount of time.
Okay,
Unfortunately, I just don't remember what the name of this function is out here. It is, it's somehow related to clear before roll. So I'm using tab index reference. Oh, clear to no, that's happening before, so it's not there. Never mind that. Highlight special dice.
Hugo says, did we ever find the source of the memory leak?
Yes, we did. It was essentially children with references to parents. That's what it was.
Things that just don't get tidied up because they're always referenced by something. Yeah.
Hugo says, there's your swatting away. Yeah, I want to swat away without killing everybody. Is what I want to do. But I definitely want to swat away. I think it'll be fun to do. But I want to do the sound first. I want to do so that we can play music on this show. I want to do that soon. I think maybe next week. Okay, remove die effects. What's going on here? Remove remaining dice. Feels like we're in the right spot. What's this happening here?
Good,
on dice have stopped rolling. Okay.
Hey,
okay.
Got to be around here somewhere.
Do this. If remove dice immediately, then we're going to remove remaining dice. Let's go declare that up here. It's going to be a Boolean. And that's going to be equal to false. Like that. So we're not going to remove them immediately anymore. So now if we do that, let's do one other thing though. We need to be able to remove them when the clear function comes in. And I'm not sure, I don't remember what I did exactly with this. Clear is a signal R piece I added. I know that I added it, but I don't know if I'm responding to it. So I got to go over into connection, which is where all my signal R stuff is coming in. Clear dice is there, tabbed index reference, dice layer, clear dice. We're here, nothing going on.
There we go. No implementations yet.
No,
And there's an implementation.
Yeah, I just want to see what's going on with there. Dice, 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 and at the end, so this is actually puts in our effects for the dice as well. I have a feeling if we just clear, if we hit clear at the wrong time, we might be in trouble. I want to do a to-do here. Make sure we can call this robustly at any time. Like that. So I want to do a double check on this because I want to make sure that I can just hit clear, 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 and we're good. And now let's refresh. Let's see if that worked. Wouldn't that be great if it was just 2 lines of code? And
that'd be pretty nice,
we
yeah.
made some progress. All right,
well,
still loading. Okay. Let's attack. Roll the attack dice. And now the other question is, when this gets to the end, is that going to clear too? Did I write that code? I don't remember if I did or not. No, it's sad. It didn't. I didn't write that code. Let's go write that code. Or maybe it's working and there's a bug somewhere else, but let's go look at it. So we're going to go into main window. Clear dice. Here it is right here. Button clear dice.
Worldwake says that visual effect will make me not watch this stream. It's horrific. I assume he means because he later references the hand. Oh, Lord.
And isn't it awesome?
It is great.
It's a little creepy too with the sound effects. All right, so roll the dice. Clear dice. Rect progress to clear. Time clear button has been visible. And wait. That's not what we want here. We want update clear button. Boom. Okay, timer stop. This is it. Clear the dice. Clear the dice. We do call the Hubtastic base station clear the dice. Whoops, let me do one thing here. I had changed my tabs and spaces because I was out on Codebase Alpha stream. Let's change that back. Text editor, C#, general, tabs, 2 and 2, and keep tabs. Normally, I should have taken that off screen so I don't create a religious war out in the chat room based on that last UI that everyone saw. So there we're calling clear the dice, invoke async. So I think we have the bug on the low level, is what I think. So let's go into dice roller, and let's see what we got here. Clear dice. This is the one that is there. Let's set a breakpoint here. See what happens. And
sounds good.
We'll come back over here and we'll roll again. And clear the dice. Oh, if I hit it there, it's working. Maybe there's something else. Let's go in here. It did not. It looks like it stepped right over the other code. That was really weird.
Doesn't believe there is a dice layer? That seems weird.
Oh, you know what I think it is? Did we not refresh or no?
Oh, yes.
I don't know if we did or not. Got a breakpoint here for some reason. Let's run it. Clearing the dice again. What's going on? Let's refresh just in case, and let's step through the code. Let's get into our clear dice piece right here. Set a breakpoint. Yeah, it's not even letting us set a breakpoint here on this line. Oh, because I haven't saved it. That's the problem. Let's save it. Now refresh. Okay.
Set a Breakpoint!
Thanks, Surly Dev. Surly Dev tells us to set a breakpoint. I agree. Okay, now we're loading up. Now I feel like we got a better shot at this, maybe even working. So remember when I said, is that it? Only 2 lines of code? You got to save the file.
Yeah, that's a tiny little thing, but quite useful.
Yeah. All right, so there we go. Let's do a Paladin Smite. There's the dice. It's there. Let's just let it run to the end and see what happens. Do we get to our breakpoint? Yes. Okay, let's run. Well, that's a good sound. That's a good sound. Okay, let's do it again. Let's set something else out here. So we're going to do a wild magic throw. And it should stay. It should stay. It's going to clear on its own. If I hover the mouse over, it stops.
Yep.
See that? Kind of cool. I love that.
And it's there indefinitely then.
Yeah, it's there and everything's cool. And then I got to decide what I'm going to do. I'm going to clear it. I click it. Wait, it looked like it was a double clear to me. Hold on. Let's try that again. It looks like I saw 2 hands grab each of the die. I think I did. I think it was, I hit the clear button and it was, whoa. Do you see that? That was the second one. What is going on? I'm getting too close.
So is the timer executing in addition to you hitting the button?
I think that's what's happening here. I think that's going on. I think we're sending it twice from here. I think we're doing it, let's see. We're doing it on the click.
We need to turn the timer off if we do the click.
Yeah, it looks like we didn't do that. That's bad code. That's a very bad code. And shame on me for that. All right, so let's come in here. Let's click the button. There's the clear dice. Let's click that button. Let's turn off that timer. And is that enough to do that? Boom. We make the button invisible. I think that's exactly why we had 2.
That's it.
And we'll run it. And let's get the code. Let's get this back up. Let's take a look at it. I'll go one more time. What? Wait a minute. Is that? Oh, because we added the line maybe after we stepped after it. Let's look at it one more time. See if we still have the bug. Do we have the bug? I don't need to refresh the editor because, here, let's click it now. I'm going to click it. No, what?
It's still there.
What's going on?
Have you...
Let's see if update clear button is coming from anywhere else. It's only coming in response to the update clear button timer. Update clear button timer. We are clearly calling stop here. Let's change the order, I guess. Do I have to create a, Will Bennett says, was replacing my cooler,
fried CPU and motherboard.
On the tablet. Wow. Exciting.
Ouch.
Surly Dev said, oh, damn, I just used my tab key to autocomplete your name, I think, to Will Bennett, I think. Cool. People use tabs should be banned from touching keyboards. Surly Dev, incredibly funny. Yeah, the snark is totally acceptable. Okay, so this doesn't make sense to me. I feel like I can put the stop button right above it, but do we got to start somewhere else in here? Let's see if we got a start. Oh, the mouse leave, we've got the start. Hold on. This is the problem.
So it started even if we have stopped it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need to, yeah, okay. So I'm glad we looked at that. So I think I'm going to need to have something that says click, a Boolean here. So let's get a breakpoint. Click.
It's a self-aware timer. It restarts itself.
Yeah. So we're going to say just clicked the clear dice button. Set that equal to, well, I can't set it in equal to anything and edit and continue yet. We're going to say set to true. I'm going to move this up just up here, just so we prioritize that. Then we're going to say if not, if not just clicked the clear button. Whoops, not there, wrong place. There. That's where we want to do it. Then we're going to start it up again. This should fix the problem. Then we need to do, when we make this button appear, when its visibility is the button clear dice visibility, I'm using tap to next reference here on the visibility property. When we set that to true, right there, Then we want to set this to false, like that. Show the clear button. Okay, and I think that might be enough. I normally would do it.
Nice serial name.
NVM is no Velociraptor meat. Feature request. A hand comes out of the goo, reaches over, and presses the clear dice button. That would actually be fun. You've seen that box that does that, right? We could create a virtual version of that box.
Box where you switch it on and it then switches itself off.
A finger comes out and turns it off. It's awesome. I want to do that with software that basically starts it up. A hand comes out, reaches, grabs a mouse,
clicks the X, closes the program down.
Yeah, clicks the X button, and then it's done. That's my program. I think it'll be a huge hit. What fun. The skeleton hand monkey box. Yeah, that thing with the coin thing. Roy, if you can find that online, get a link for anybody who hasn't seen that.
There's a name for that. I'm trying to think what it is.
I don't know what it is either, but just type in skeleton hand monkey box and I bet you get it. All right, so let's do this again. We're going to go Paladin Smite. Uh-oh, nothing's working now. Oh, wait. Oh, I guess I can refresh, but I feel like I got a state problem in here somewhere. I think I have a state problem that I need to figure out. Is it that I've left it for too long or what? I'm going to refresh now, but I'm going to investigate that state problem, I think, later. That's what I think I'm going to do. Roy's got the link out there for the skeleton hand monkey bot.
That's not for that particular one, but it is the one that switches itself off.
All right, here's wild magic. There's the roll. Clear dice. I'm going to let it go all the way to the end, or almost. I'm going to go in and click it. And then now we should see nothing else. Perfect. Nice.
Nice.
Okay, so there's the roll. Clear the dice. And I like to how the clear dice doesn't come up till later, like after the roll. And then and then it goes away. All right, so that's
nice.
pretty good. Next thing we have to do, on an advantage roll or a disadvantage roll, we roll 2 die out. By the way, I don't know if I showed you this or not, Rory, but check this out too. We can make it 22 d8s like that.
Oh, very nice.
Like that, comma 3 d4s, comma 2 d6. And
this is what you were playing with when you decided to do and track down the memory leak, because you clearly went nuts here.
Yeah. So now we do like a wild animal form attack, for example. And there's all those dice coming out.
That's an entire pack of animals attacking.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then, but no memory leak, kids. One thing I did notice, you notice right there to my upper right, there's a shadow left behind by one of the die. See that right next to my finger on the stream? Right there?
Okay, yeah.
And there it is. It's hard to see, and on a dark map, I don't think anybody will notice it. But I'm like, what? Where's that coming from?
I thought it was a fingerprint on my monitor for a second, because it's pretty small, but yeah.
Hugo says the rolls don't disable after a roll. Yeah, right. They do not. So if I do this, we are not disabled. Okay. The other thing is there's something else going on too here is when the roll stops, we want to send that information back to, this through Signal R. I have in here, do I have it? Did I create it? I've got, chat, need to get coins. Dice have stopped rolling. Passing in dice data. Am I calling this from anything? I'm not. So I need to start implementing this. And we got to send some dice data back is what we have to do. Okay? So let's go add that. That's going to be over here in our dice roller. This is when dice have stopped rolling. Here we're calculating total damage right here. So we see what the total damage is. Also, I didn't tell you this. I worked on text effects as well.
You've had a busy weekend.
I did. I worked on text effects. Text effects aren't displaying, but let me show you those for right now, actually. I'm going to set a marker here, so we'll come back in a second. Somewhere in here, I've got a Boolean, I think, here that says show text values. There it is right there. Set that to true. Let's refresh, and you can see what's going on here with that. And guess what else? I found another bug in the original dice rolling code.
Ooh, I see.
It's incredible edge case. But here's the text effects. You can see those right there on the stream.
Yep.
And Roy, you can see those as well live.
I can, yeah.
The bug is that sometimes the number that we see is not the number that it thinks it should be.
Oh.
And I have a pretty good idea as to why, and I've worked a fix to it. In fact, what you've got here is you're actually seeing my fix. So the numbers here should all match up. Although I think once out of like hundreds of die rolls, I saw the numbers not match up. And I was like, holy cow, if that ever happens, it just blows away the whole purpose of it. See, by the way, you
Yeah.
can see.
I can see red, yeah.
You can see red, but the chat room can't. The folks
Oh, I
in the
see.
stream can't because it's blocked. But if there's ever a red number up there you go. Here you go.
Lots of those.
This means that the number they predicted it was going to roll is not the number that it actually is on top, and I'm showing the number on top. So anyway, yeah. Will Bennett says rigged. Yeah. So I think I'm going to take out all of their code. So part of the code in here was code that would actually get a random number, but then change the orientation of the faces so that when it ended, it would end with that. But what's happening is the simulation it runs is not always 100% identical to what we actually get. And the more dice we throw out, the greater the chances are we're going to have a problem. If we just throw a couple dice out, we don't have that issue. However, I've got a way to make this, to solve that. I think a pretty strong way to solve that, to still make it super random without presetting the dice in advance and making it rigged.
That was an interesting effect there. Does the system roll the dice internally and then afterwards represent that using the dice? Or is it actually rolling the dice to discover what the numbers are?
It rolls the dice internally to discover what face will be up. Then it changes the faces so that face is now going to be up, is what it does.
So I saw a strange effect just then, maybe 3 rolls back, and I bet it's pretty rare. The dice rolled, the text effect came up, declared what it was going to be, and then maybe a millisecond afterwards, it fell into that position. So the prediction was on screen, or the text was on screen, and that individual die hadn't quite finished rolling.
So what it does to calculate the die that's up is it goes through all the faces and see which one is pointing up towards the camera the most. So it could have been that it was like between two, and it was, but still pointing up the most. And so that's kind of what's happening. Also, my settling code might be premature. I might be coming up and saying dice have settled too soon. All right, so there's that. Let's do a regular throw out here as well, just like this, and then you should be able to see the numbers here too. So 0 and 8 right there. So we've got that.
Yep.
I don't like the die shifting, by the way. I actually had to disable it on the D4s. There was a bug that they didn't notice when they wrote this. Let me put out like 6 D4s up here, and we'll do an attack roll. And they were shifting the faces, but when you shift the face of a D4, whoops, I just lost my... there it is right there. When you shift the face of a D4, you got to shift all of them, right?
Invisible dice just then.
And you got to rotate them. Oops, hold on a second. Let me go over. I just lost a bunch of my stuff. I shook a window, and all my windows just cleared off right there.
Oh, everything minimized, yeah.
But I don't know what happened here, though. This is unusual to me.
Visi dice.
No, they were cleared up. That's not a bug. But we cleared them up, but we didn't take the text away. So text is coming. I'm going to do text. I'm going to get totals and things like that. But speaking of totals, the damage we're not talking about. But yeah, so you would see results, and you'd see 1, 1 on 2 of the sides and 4 on the other side, like right over here.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, really? So it was not robust and usable in a game. So we had to fix it and change it. So anyway, that's what's going on. So the text is there. I want to animate the text. I think we'll do that tomorrow. Let's keep going on this. So I want to remove the die that is, I want to remove the die that is the disadvantage or the advantage die, the lower, the higher die. And I want to send data back. So let's, I think, start with sending some data back in there. So I dropped a marker there. Actually, let's drop a marker there again. And let's come up here and let's turn this back to false. Come back. And then we're going to call dice have stopped rolling. and we want to send it some data. And so we're going to send it total damage. We need to send total damage, and we need to, gosh, do I have something that creates a new object? Do I have a template that does that? I think this does what I want. And then I'm going to say this is the dice data. And then I think I can do this, right? And then I've got this template called OO, which is really awesome here. Just type in OO, and I can specify what that property name is going to be. And so I'm going to call that total damage, and then pass in total damage like that. And then I think I want to put in, what else? So that's just calculating total damage. I need to get some other decision on what's happened, I think. I'm going to take out these console log messages here. I'll keep that dice has stopped rolling for now. Looks like I've got this in the wrong spot. Is that true? Is the let bind it only to that location? I think it does. What's going on here? Why do I have this? What?
Is the total damage within scope? Yes, it is. So that should be fine. Oh, this dot? No, it's a let. It's a local, so you're fine there as well.
Total damage is declared, but its value is never read. What's going on? Am I not seeing this right? This looks crazy to me. Do I have an extra... is declared, but its value is never read. Yeah,
Well, it should definitely be read by the plus equals at least.
Yeah, do I have to change this to, is there something about let here that's restricting it only to that scope? That's what it was?
Wow.
I did not know that. Okay, now what's going on down here? Comma is expected. What is it? This is the syntax. I just do that, right, to create a new object. I think it's that. Okay, there we go. Sorry, that was me.
Okay.
Okay, dice have stopped rolling. Where is that? That's a global function in connection. Expected arguments. Okay, that's the problem there. Okay, I thought it just didn't. We pass in dice data. Now, what else do we need to do? Well, we need the kind of roll that we are rolling. We're sending this out now, and we can set a breakpoint. Let's set a breakpoint on the other side of this. Dice have stopped rolling. Do we have a stop rolling kind of thing in here? Stopped. Let's go through the entire solution. Dice have stopped rolling is there. Let's set a breakpoint right there and see if we ever hit that. And let's just refresh that, I think. And just see if we get that breakpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to get it without us rolling one? I'm not sure if we're going to get that or not. I think we will get it. We should get it without it. Oh, but SignalR hasn't connected yet, so we're not going to get it. SignalR is like the last thing to connect. Okay, there's the SignalR connection. Let's roll. There's a sneak attack. Roll, and there we go. Nice. Are we there?
Cool.
Yeah, we're there. Okay, cool. I'll do something there in the future, and I'm not sure what that is. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. Hold on. I'm going to actually act on this right now. Yeah, I think we can do it. Let's see if we can do it. Let's roll the dice. There it is right there. And there's my breakpoint. And let's see if we can do this. We're going to say we need a new event. And the event is going to be, I'm just going to call it dice stopped rolling. Like that. We can have any problems with that. Looks like we're okay with that. Let's make it a dice event handler. Let's declare that. Dice event handler. And that's going to take some dice event args in it. And let's declare some dice event args. I think it's CEA to create an event args descendant like that. And then we're going to pass in some dice data here. Dice data like that. I think for now I'm just going to declare that property like that in there. But I think what I'm going to do soon is I'm going to put a to do here is I'm going to do a deserialize. on this. So JSON deserialize on this.
Yep.
And turn it into an object that we can actually work with and into properties that'll be part of the dice event args. Okay, so now that we've got that, we've got our event. We can hit the CodeRushed key and choose create event trigger. That's going to give us our on dice stop rolling piece right there. And if S&B is out there watching this, I didn't show them anything about these templates like here for creating events and stuff like this, but it's so fast to do this, right?
It's difficult to cover everything. I mean, the combination here of CodeRushed templates and edit and continue is so powerful. All right, they're brilliant independently, but together you just get so much done. And you don't have to stop and think about too much of the ceremony around what it is how you're trying to do it, because you spend more of your time on the what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? Dustin Campbell taught me this. Very important to do. We're going to create our own dice event args right here, like this. And because we want to reuse the same args, because apparently if you're triggering events a lot, you don't want to, it's more efficient to do it this way. So I should be able to...
so we don't have to instance the class, we just replace the values in the class.
Yeah. I want to do something like this. I want to say if that's null, then I want to create a new instance of it. What's going on here? Oh, static. That's the problem. Static. So ST is the template to give me static. And then I want to come down in here and I want to say, do we not have a parameterless constructor? Let's create one of those. So CC template gives me that. Just hit enter on that. Will give me this piece. And then I want to do create a function in here called set dice data. It's going to take a string in there, dice data, like that, and then that's going to be there. This is going to be public. Alt up and down aren't working for me. Oh, because we're debugging. I think it stops in debugging. We don't do that because Visual... This is one of those things where CodeRushed had this great key binding, and then Visual Studio was like, we're going to take the key binding. And
that's the one.
And they did it in a way that didn't make me, that wasn't as well thought out and made me a little less happy. So anyway, we're going to come in here and say set dice data, and we're going to pass in the dice data to it. And then that way, now we're happy and we're efficient in terms of performance. And now we're going to come in there and pass in those args. So it's faster to do this than it is to create new dice event args all the time, especially on events that are triggering quickly. In this case, that doesn't really apply, but it's a kind of a best practice that I use.
It's good to get into good habits, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not bad. Okay, so now we're at this breakpoint. Now we got to hook this event and edit and continue. Where's the event? The event is right there. Dice stop rolling. This is a static event, kids. There's like a gotcha with static events that I'm barely recalling. Basically, the idea is that we need to unhook this when we are shutting down any live objects. Otherwise, those live objects will stick around. Now, it is the main window. So, but now we need to add some code here to do this. So let's, I really don't want to stop my edit and continue. You can tell I'm trying to make this whole thing work. I'm going to have to trick it, I think, to get this to work though, Rory, because, oh wait, I know what I can do. Hold on. Let's do this. I'm going to set another breakpoint here. With that code that we have, we're going to run. Okay. So we're running. I'm going to save that too. We've run. Now add 10 minutes. Click. Let's go over here. Add 10 minutes. Like that. We're at the breakpoint. Now I'm going to hook the event. Do you love it?
It's nice.
I'm going to hook it, run the code, and then delete the code is what I'm going to do. Just to get the data right, then put it in the right spot. That's what I'm going to do. Okay? Because I really don't. Wait. Dice stop rolling. Did I get the wrong thing? What is it? No, it's not hub connection. It's the Hubtastic base station.
Yes.
Dice stop rolling. Plus equals. There we go. Wait, I have to hit the equals sign. Is that what I have to do? Tab to insert. There we go. Dice have stopped rolling.
There we go.
Let's run that line of code. Good. Let's clear our breakpoint. Isn't this insane? But the cost of starting and restopping is
playing with the state machine.
Yeah.
Everything. It's good
Okay,
fun.
so we're going to do here. Let's set a breakpoint there now. Oh, I love this. And let's get into our constructor. Maybe our loaded. I think we've got a loaded function event handler in here. Right there. That's where I want that code to be. Now we want to kill it. We need an unloaded to be good citizens in the world. So now we got to go to the designer, I guess, and see if we can hook another event in here. Do I have an unloaded? I got an unloaded. I'll take it. Let's jump in there. Boom. Get rid of it. Is this like the best demo? Somebody make a clip of this.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
This is awesome. Okay. And let's get our tabs and everything else back in the right spots. I think I can run.
Yeah.
I think I can run. Continue. Where am I? There we go. Okay. While I'm at this, let me show you the clock. I didn't show you everything about the clock. So the clock, you can see on the stream right there, right? The clock.
Yeah, I can.
The clock is not updating right now. And I think that's because we've been doing the breakpoints, and I think we need to kind of do a refresh on it, on the clock to get it to work. Let me see if I can advance it, though. Can I advance it at all? Nope, I can't. So I'm going to have to do a refresh on it. So I'm going to change this over here. Do a refresh.
It's to have the clock reconnect to the SignalR hub so that it's receiving the messages.
Yeah, I've noticed that if I'm in a breakpoint for a long time, SignalR is like, yeah, you weren't trying. And so I'm gone.
Wow.
Let's see if I can move the clock now. Nope, I can't move it yet. So
yeah, it's still got scroll bar, so you not necessarily fully
there
loaded.
we go. Now I can move the clock. So watch this. I can add an hour. I can add 10 minutes, like this, right? When we enter combat, it goes like that, and the clock stops. The drone game is overlaid. Let me just temporarily turn it off for a second in this view, so you can see it. The time stops when we exit combat.
Yep.
Time starts again. If we add a short rest or greater, whatever we end up in, you'll hear sound effects to indicate that time of day. So listen. Here's a long rest. Here's a long rest.
Hey, that's a daytime.
Yeah, not bad. So kind of cool stuff. So that's for the transfer of time. And that clock is, I think, essentially done. It is like,
looks good.
By the way, one of our listeners, our viewers, sent in some artwork for that, which I'm going to incorporate into the show. That is fully public domain artwork. They essentially said, here you go. So if you want to run that clock with that artwork instead, you can do that. Okay, so let's see. We've got an event now. We want to see if that event is being fired. Did all that work really work is the question. And are we going to get here dice have stopped rolling? So if that's the case, let's see. Let's see if we can roll the dice here. I'm clicking the button to roll the dice. And guess what? Nothing's happening. I think SignalR died here. Let's check the inspector. See what we got in here. Failed to invoke due to an error on the server. And here. There it is right there. Connection disconnected with error, server timeout elapsed without receiving a message from the server. So basically, and I think there's a way we can change this to make it more forgiving, but when we're debugging, if we block it long enough, it's like, yeah, you're not there, so I'm shutting down, which means we got to refresh.
Which would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, what's going on here? Worldwake says, hold on, I missed some stuff. I'm not going gambling at Mark's Casino. Surly Dev. It's built for you. I built the casino. It's called Surly Dev's Casino by Mark. It's for you to give lots of money.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. All right. So there we go. We got the refresh. Let's do the Paladin Smite. Please give me a breakpoint. All that work I want to pay off. Yes.
Breakpoint.
Look at that
Success.
right there. Dice
Victory.
stopped rolling.
Ship it.
Now what we want to do is we want to go grab those dice rolling things that are out there. So let's look for like Smite, for example. There it is. And we've got two stack panels that hold the buttons, the roll now buttons. So we're going to say this dot is enabled. is equal to false, equals F is a shortcut there, and it gives me the semicolon and spacing and all that other stuff. And then the other one is the special throws. The SP just stands for stack panel. So I'll just use duplicate line down here, paste in special throws, and we're done. Duplicate line, I didn't show Stuart duplicate line either. So that's Shift Enter, and there's some cool things you can do. I also didn't show Smart Copy.
It's so hard to get all of these features into a single demo, though, because there's so many. You'd be hours, literally hours, trying to show absolutely everything. But when each of those things comes into its own, it really does come into its own. These are little things that they add to your workflow in so very many ways, and just make everything that much easier.
All right, let's look for clear. A second here. Whoops, spell it correctly. What do we got here? I see up at the top we've got clear the dice. I don't want clear the dice. I want when clear button goes invisible, I want to then enable these. Like that. Is that right? Is that the only place I need? My question is this the only place I need to do that? When that visibility of that thing, update clear button, I don't think it is. I think when we click it, I have to do the same thing. Like that. And so if we take this code and we put it in the same order as the pieces above, I'm just looking at what the method is we want to extract. Is enabled, and then we have just clicked. So this is different, but then everything, these 4 lines and these 4 lines are the same. Clear the dice, can I move them into clear the dice? Is it only called from those 2 places? It is. So let's move that and that into clear the dice. Then we've got code that's way better. Okay, so we're going to go do that. Good, let's run. And now if this works, I think this was Hugo's observation. What happened? I think I just killed everything. I think it was a message that said, am I running still or not? Maybe I'm still running. I guess I'm still running. Okay. All right, let's refresh over here as well. And so now what we should see when we roll is we should see, but I don't want to do it yet. Oh yeah, I guess I can do it because so nothing is, okay, there we go. But these don't seem like they're disabled.
Good question.
Which we got? Yeah, mega super copy. Just walked into the shop and some guy came in after me. He was in line before me, but he was was fidgeting. And when it was kind of his turn, he kind of just shrugged that he doesn't have any money and walked off with the beer. The cashier just rolled her eyes. Wow. Did Rory get dropped? I heard a Skype sound. Rory, you with us? Rory got dropped. Did he have to leave? I bet he had to leave. Or maybe there was another problem. We'll see if Rory gets back. Yeah, it sounds like Rory got dropped right in there. Okay, so why is this, what's happening in here? Okay, hold on. The calling thread cannot access an object because there's a different thread that owns it. Oh, that was my problem. Okay, so let's figure that out. I don't know if I can use does it make sense to use a dispatch timer to solve this, or is there a better way to solve this? It's been such a long time to do this, I don't even know how to start. Get to the UI thread, or execute code on the UI thread. Execute code on the UI thread, WPF. In the GUI thread, that scares me. That's WPF. Why are you saying GUI? Are we in WPF kids? I can't tell. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. That's also not what I wanted. Okay. Dispatcher begin invoke, says Will Bennett. What do we got? Is that what we've got? Yep, it's kind of that. Okay. So should I just copy this? Or do I just, is it as simple as just finding any control and saying dispatcher.invoke? Is it as simple as this? I think it might be as simple as that. Let's see what we got here. So this code should be...
Sad Panda!
Sad, Rory. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, WPF dispatcher begin invoke. So I think it's going to be something like this. It's going to be SP roll now buttons, .dispatcher, .invoke, priority normal, some sort of action. And then we get in here. What is my problem with that? It looks like there was there a problem in the original code? Or did I just select too much? The original code has got a curly brace that's not matched, it seems. Oh, no, that's what's passed to the thread. I see. Not invoke, though, can end up thread locked. So maybe thread to close pop-up. The sleep thing is what doesn't make sense to me. Let me find another answer on this thing. Calling a delegate. There we go. This is probably going to help me, although it's not Stack Overflow, so it makes me sad. Yeah, it looks like I got a new thread. What's going on with this? I don't like that either. I think there's a simpler way. I feel like I'm not getting examples. Let's try this. They've got a timer. Is that what they're really going to do? I was thinking about doing that. Dispatcher invoke. And is it just that? Maybe that's the simple answer right there. Maybe that is going to do it for me. Can I do that? And then this. That's what I want. Is it that beautiful and simple? Why did it take so long to get there? Uh-oh. What's it saying? It doesn't like that. I think I can't do this kind of thing. Let's do this instead. Update or disable, or sorry, dice stopped rolling. What was my, yeah, so it's disable. I actually don't want to disable them here. I want to enable them is what I want to do. Enable dice roll buttons. Let's see if I can generate this as a function. Declare that right there. And now I can use edit continue. So edit continue wasn't liking the lambda there. Someone say WPF. CPIAD is out here, and yep, much love for WPF. At least that's what we're doing right now. And guess who's learning it? It's me. I think this is going to maybe help us. Let's see what we can do on that. Dice stop rolling. Although I think my code is wrong here. So it is enabled right here. This should be true right here. If the dice have stopped rolling, then we can enable them. Dice have stopped rolling. Yeah, I actually don't think, I think I'm totally doing this. I think my logic here is just completely false here. The dice have stopped rolling. I don't think we necessarily want to do this here at all. I think we want to, I think what we want to do instead is, oh, yeah, you're not going to let me do that? Wow, because I already did this. Okay, let's do this instead. Because I didn't like that I was doing a JavaScript version of this thing anyway. VB, and we're going to say enable, like this. Like that. Now, when I roll the dice, and when I throw any die at all, let's go in here, roll the dice, drill to it, enable dice buttons, we're going to say false, like that. And then when the die have stopped rolling, or we hit the clear button on that, then I can say true. I guess I can do something along those lines. So the dice have stopped rolling. Then we're going to enable those buttons here at this point. So now the roll is stopped. And whoops, I got to do dispatcher invoke. How do I pass in parameters to it though? Let's see. Because I can't. I almost think I can guess here. Is there a second callback, priority, params, right there. So that's what I think we want to do. So we're going to say true, like that. Is that going to work? It's an object array. Is that going to work? I feel like I'm confusing. Yeah, it sounds like that's not going to work either. New object array. I'm guessing here, kids, because I'm like, so. Yeah, I feel like some of this is going to work on something. All right, let's do this. New object array. Call it params. Wait, there's another one. New object. The close paren instead. Parameters. And true. And then do it here. No? What's wrong? It's not telling me what's wrong is the problem. So action callback, delegate method. Okay, that's why it's not working. Action callback, cancellation token, priority args here. That's the problem, I think. Okay, so we're going to come in here and we're going to say dispatcher priority dot normal, like that. There's an invoke needed or some prop like that on each control. Mark, you probably want your calls to the dispatcher within the method so that no matter where you call it from, it doesn't matter which thread you probably want your calls to the dispatcher within the method. Oh, enable dice roll buttons. Oh, I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. All right. Yeah, we can do that. Now what's wrong? Please tell me. Hovering, nothing's coming up. I really don't want to quit this session here. All right, so let's do this anyway. Let's come into the method and do it. And that actually saves us anyway, doesn't it? We can come back in to do it the other way. Which, do I still have that code up? No, nope, it's not opening it up. Does that mean because it's back behind us here? There it is, right there. Okay, like that, like this. Oh, but I can't edit and continue this, I bet, can I? Or can I? Because it's new? It's a new function, I think I can edit and continue it. Maybe that I can. All right, so let's try that. Whoops, true. So we're going to enable those. All right, so sorry about that. That took a while to kind of figure that out. Then let's keep running. We're going to have to refresh because we've been gone for a while. And when we run, then we get because we're the debugger, the mark comes up and gets my attention. Okay, so now though, we've got a problem that everything is disabled here, and we're going to have to go back and enable them. I'm not sure how that happened, but we need to look at that, what got us in that state. Let's go. Seems we had a power cut for about 5 minutes. But yes, I should have left. Have done so now. This is Rory talking to me. We'll catch you tomorrow. Okay. Thanks, buddy. That's what I'm saying back to Rory. Okay. Let's go to my add 10 minutes. Set a breakpoint. Let's click the add 10 minutes button. Get to my breakpoint. Let's go into call enable dice roll buttons true, like that. Let's run it. They are good now for me. I'm going to click add 10 minutes again, and we're going to clear that line of code. And then we're going to run it. And now, so we are going to say, let's do a roll. Whoops. Oh. So clear dice is going to automatically take care of it for us. I think when I hit click this, these should all re-enable. Good. So even though we're disconnected because of the last thing, we're going to have to refresh. Even though we're disconnected, we're still, I think, going to be okay. And we're not going to get in that state again, I hope. So let's try that. Let's see what happens. Okay. Let's the roll. Clear dice. Let's do it again. Flat D20, they're disabled. I can't send another roll out until I clear them. So I can just roll again, which is totally fine with me. I'm okay with that. But I want to wait till they settle, and now they've settled. Now I can do it. If they don't settle, like say we're at a breakpoint or we shut it down or something like that, these should still be re-enabled once the clear dice is done. Like that. So, all right, so that's pretty cool. Okay, good. Let's take a look at what we got out here. Let's do, you know what I think I want to do? Because I have got to take care of some logistics issues coming up here in about a half an hour. I'm going to end the stream now. If you are out there right now in the chat room and you want a copy of CodeRushed and you don't have one, let us know. Let me know, and I will send you a copy of CodeRushed. And I'm also going to give away a copy of CodeRushed right now because that's what we do every episode. So today's winner is, here it comes.
CodeRushed giveaway.
Any minute now. There we go.
Pack Mangler.
Pack Mangler. Okay, Mr. Nutsabot went a little crazy on that name. But there it is. Pack Mangler is the winner.
Excuse your face, sir.
Mr. Nutsabot, you don't have to get so personal. I was just, saying, that...
Wow. Just wow.
All right. So we're going to put Mr. Announcer back in the box right now.
Mother of pearl.
Straight butter. Let me look into that. I will contact Roy. Roy's the one who's got to go for all of those. I'm going to put that out there right now, and hopefully he will see that ASAP. We'll see how that turns out. Tomorrow, if you don't have it, I will. I'll push harder. No rush. I think Roy had some stuff going on last week. So okay. And it looks like I haven't seen anybody in the chat room who doesn't already have one. I think everybody I recognize in the chat room already has a copy of CodeRushed. So I think you guys are good. Everybody have a great day. Tomorrow we'll be back. We'll probably finish this up. We'll work on animating text, I think. And with the goal that by Thursday, dice rolling will be ready to use in a real game. That's what our goal is. Okay. With that, thanks so much to everybody. Thanks, Hugo. Thanks, Will, C. Payette, Straight Butter, Stu, SNB Surly Dev. It's not a show, Surly Dev, if you're not putting a drone right in front of my face. So thanks for that. And we will see you guys tomorrow.